Okay, so hello, John. Welcome to the fifth edition of the Data Innovation Summit in an online setting. We're glad to have you and Reltio as our partners. To start with, please tell us a bit more about yourself and your role at Reltio.
Thanks, Ivana. Thanks for having me on your interview here.
It's a pleasure.
My name is John Olsen. I'm the VP of our sales and operations in Europe, based in London. And I've been with Reltio for about 5 years now. I started, when we were just getting started, and we rolled out into the US and then internationally. And about 3 years ago, I moved to London from New York and started our business there. So I've been busy getting our local presence in place, and things have been very successful for us. So very excited to continue building our business in Europe.
Yeah, right. That's good. So we are aware of the current situation right now. How would you say the current COVID-19 situation affects companies' digital strategies? And more specifically, how does it affect the demand for the data management tools?
That's a good question. So it's been interesting. Obviously a trying time for everybody and for companies. And actually the last 2 quarters have actually been very good for Reltio. We've had a lot of our companies come back to us and expand their deployments. We've had a lot of new companies come and use this time to get stronger and to get closer to their customers and improve their customer experience. And that's across industry. We primarily, we have customers in life sciences and healthcare, financial services, retail, high tech, media and entertainment. Media, entertainment in the travel industry has been a little soft, understandably.
Yeah.
But, life sciences, healthcare, and FinServe, and a bit in retail, they really are taking advantage of this time to put in the infrastructure they need in order to build better relationships with their customers and improve those relationships.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's great to hear, Dan. So moving to the current economy, businesses today are transforming their strategies in order to stay ahead in the race for the customer experience age we are living in today. But traditional data management environments are posing constraints for companies that want to innovate through their customer data. Can companies break away from legacy data management and win in the experience economy, according to you?
Absolutely. That's one of the exciting things about Reltio is that most of the people that work for our organization have been in MDM for 20 plus years, whether, with some of the legacy vendors that are out there. And we understand the constraints of, SQL databases and on-premise solutions and, scalability, flexibility, agility. And, how the economy has changed into this, experience economy, and where, understanding your customer relationships is very important, beyond just knowing what their address and what their, phone number is. You got to understand the interactions and the transactions and the products and the locations and stores, and sort of roll that all into one single view of the customer. It's not simply about mastering one domain, it's mastering multiple domains, and then putting that on an infrastructure that can scale in real time. Whether it's, you're doing analytics or to help you, use some machine learning and some artificial intelligence to, understand propensity scores and next best offers and how you treat customers. Or if somebody's on your e-commerce channel or on your website buying something, and being able to, make sure that you're communicating with that customer based on all the information that you have about them. And it might be around their household. It might be on their behaviors on social media. It could be on the past interactions and transactions that they've done. But all of this stuff pulled together, you can create a much better customer experience. We call it the connected customer 360. And, that's on a cloud-based SaaS infrastructure that can scale. We're helping the largest companies in the world, do this transformation, and it's been very exciting. We have great partners, in Accenture and Acuvia in life sciences, Deloitte, Cognizant, TCS. They're all sort of jumping on this new modern approach to customer experience.
Yeah, it's all about personalizing, right? The customer
Hyper
experience.
personalization, absolutely.
Hyper personalization.
That's right.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Talking about data management more specifically, what would you say is the role of data management in the digital transformation of companies?
I think our company's view is it has a critical role, because, it sort of starts with that foundational understanding of who your customer is and the relationship that you have. And you got to make sure that that's clean and accurate and available to these front end systems in real time. And so in order, people they put a CRM system in, whether it's Salesforce or they put in a new business intelligence tool, or they're trying to do some things in machine learning. Those applications are only as good as the data that's put into them.
Right.
When you have data that's scattered across your enterprise and it needs to be pulled together and deduplicated and enriched and, pulled into a single area where it can be pushed into these consuming applications so they can basically do their jobs better. So, from our perspective, the foundation that you put in and the governance you put in on that and the data quality and linking all of the parts of your company together is very critical to how successful you're going to be in a digital transformation.
Okay, so moving to a still relevant topic, according to me, the GDPR. So managing customer data means that companies must ensure full GDPR compliance with their business. How does Reltio help companies in this area?
Well, I guess by definition, MDM is, sort of understands where all this data resides across the enterprise, right? So we're getting the unique IDs from your operational systems, from your analytical systems, from your billing systems. And John Olsen, my information is in each one of those systems. So it needs to be pulled together. So we're sort of the linchpin that understands that, here's John Olsen, we have information in these 10 systems. And if, I call on the company and ask them to say, hey, please, remove me from your database or from your systems, they can go to Reltio and see all the systems that John Olsen has, information in, and they can sort of address that request. There's also the whole concept of consent and opting in and opting out and complying with, what the customer's requests are. We have many customers that use us for that purpose. So we're not the end-to-end solution that companies need for GDPR, because there's a lot of process that needs to take place. There's a lot of people that are involved. But from a systems perspective, we can play a critical role in understanding where all that data resides and managing the consent policies for each individual customer.
So one last question. As MDM is becoming more mainstream and moving to the cloud, what can we expect that will happen to master data management in the next few years, let's say?
Well, certainly there's a major wave to go to the cloud, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
When we first really went to market 6-7 years ago, just having life sciences was cloud first. They were ready to go off legacy and on to modern. They wanted a cloud-based solution. They wanted it to be SaaS. They wanted to sort of just have somebody else take care of that piece of the puzzle. Other industries are following suit. So the whole concept of putting it on this big data sort of SaaS infrastructure that is going to continue to have a very strong wave. And all the legacy vendors have announced plans to move in that direction as well. But where MDM starts getting exciting is when you go outside of the box of just matching and merging. It's not just about getting a single view of a customer. It's about understanding the relationship a customer has with other entities, such as locations and channels and other customers and companies. So we use, in our case, a graph database that allows us to understand complex relationships. And that's sort of where the world is right now. It's not just a one-on-one, it's a one-to-many, and there's lots of relationships you need to understand in order to create this. It moves us into the machine learning and the analytics component, so you can reduce the strain of having to manage all this data manually. You do a lot of automatic matching and merging. You have a data steward that is helping in that process for the exceptions, but you introduce machine learning in the matching process, and all of a sudden it even becomes more automated, more precise. And then you can go beyond that and go into machine learning to help you with different, propensity scores and data quality scores. And that all can be sort of filtered back into the system to, make your operations more efficient.
So we'll just wait and see how it progresses, right? But it sounds exciting. So that was the last question. John, thank you for being with us at this Data Innovation Summit, and thank you for having this interview with me.
Thanks, Ivana. It's great. Thank you so much.